Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, class.
Morning, sir.
How are you today?
Yeah, fine.
Fine, sir.
Okay. Hopefully you will be back to school very soon. Yeah. You were supposed to be here last week, but due to some reasons, yeah, your coming to school is delayed. So you will be here. Hopefully you will be in the school like grade 11 soon. Yeah. Maybe at the end of this month. Well, students, before we start our lesson today, let's recite Al-Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It's a bit disappointing. Yeah, there are only 19 students out of 100 students. 19 students joining this class, or maybe less than 19 students. I don't understand what's the problem. Okay, and you are grade 12. You're supposed to be more active and to secure your score. So you should be more active. Okay. Well, student, our topic today is about conditional sentence. So I believe you studied conditional sentence type 1 when you were grade 11. So today's lesson is conditional sentence type 2 and type 3. But I'm going to separate this lesson into two. This first meeting, we're going to be talking about type 2, and in the next meeting, we'll be talking about type 3. Well, students, before we go further, I'd like to introduce you the objective of our topic today. First, you will be able to identify social function and a structure of conditional sentence type 2. And then you will be able to differentiate the text structure of conditional sentence type 2. And then you will be able to create a sentence using conditional sentence type 2. And then number 4, you will be able to state a correct form of conditional sentence type 2. So these are our adjective today. Okay, so right, definition, function, formula, and example. That's the content of today. Okay, so talking about conditional sentence type 2, or talking about conditional sentence and the type. Okay, there are some types of conditional sentence. Yeah, started from type 0, type 1, type 2, and type 3. I believe you studied type 0 and type 1. So today's is type 2. Today's lesson is type 2. And later on, next week will be type 3. Okay, let's talk about conditional sentence. Conditional sentence, what is conditional sentence? Right, conditional sentence is a sentence that express a condition. Condition mean is not keadaan, but it's like conditional is syarat. Yeah, a condition is something that can only happen if something else occurs. So it is like a syarat ya. Syarat apabila terjadi sesuatu itu apabila yang lain terjadi. Okay. A condition is something that can only happen. That can only happen if something else occurs. Occurs means happen. Okay. So it depends on other thing or other sentence. Right. So conditional sentence type 2. How do we use that? It is used when the result or consequence of condition has not or small possibilities to happen as the condition cannot be fulfilled at the present. Or to make it more simple, we can say present unreal situation. Or the condition is difficult to be fulfilled in the future or unlikely to happen. So that is conditional sentence type 2. Do you understand? I'm repeating again. The result of the condition has not, or the possibility has not possibilities, or the possibilities is very small to happen because the condition cannot be fulfilled at the present. The condition cannot be fulfilled at the present. Syaratnya itu nggak bisa terpenuhi pada saat ini. Or present unreal situation. It means the situation is unreal at this time. Okay, so that is conditional sentence type 2. So here, when we're talking about conditional sentence, that we're talking about the if clause as the condition sebagai syaratnya, if clause, and the main result, main clause as the result. So if clause is the condition and the main clause is a result. So the sentence has two, yeah. The sentence has two, if clause and main clause. If clause is the sentence which has if, and the function of if clause here is the condition sebagai kalimat syaratnya, and the main clause is as the result. Okay, here if clause, the condition how thing can occur. When we are talking about if clause, it is talking about the condition how thing can occur. Bagaimana itu bisa terjadi. Okay. And the main clause, the result of if clause. The result of if clause or the result of the condition. So don't forget, please remember, when we're talking about conditional sentence, there is if clause and there is main clause, is or it's constructed with if clause and main clause. The position of if clause and main clause can be swapped. Okay, you can place the main clause at the beginning and if clause at the last, or if clause in the beginning or main clause in the last. Okay, so do you understand? If you have question, feel free to ask. No? Okay, if there is no question, we go further. The next is, this is the form of type 2. Now we are talking about the form, how to form, or what's the formula of type 2, conditional sentence type 2. Okay, so if, all right, so it's preceded or it started with if, and then started with and then followed by simple past. And then as the result, it's followed by past future. Yeah, subject and object and predicate, and then past future. Past future means would. Okay, so if plus simple past tense, that is for the if clause or as the condition, and the next clause is main clause, or that's the result. Okay, or you can place the result clause at the beginning and then if clause is the next. So doesn't matter, okay? Main clause, if clause. Okay. The next is, okay, simple present tense. So we skip that one formula. Okay. So how about the sentence has no verb? If and then simple past tense and then past future. If plus subject, verb to, and object. And then as the the main clause, subject, would, and verb 1. If plus subject plus verb 2. Verb 2 is a past tense, and then the object. And then you put comma after that, and then subject, and then would, and verb 1. That's the formula. Okay, here is an example. Let's talk about the example now. If I had much money, comma, I would buy a sport car. If I had much money, I would buy a sport car. Right. If I had money is if clause or condition. And as the result clause is the main clause, I would buy a sport car. So can you go back to the pattern? The pattern that we would talk before. We talked before if clause. How do we form if clause? See, if and then subject and then past, simple past, This is the past of have. The past of have is had. And then the object. If I had much money. And then the result clause or main clause, I would. Would is past future. Would is past future and then followed by verb 1. I would buy a sport car. I would buy a sport car. All right, so that's an example 1 and example 2. Right? If you went to bed earlier, you wouldn't feel so tired. If you went to bed earlier, that is the condition of the if clause as a condition. Sebagai syaratnya ya. If you went to bed earlier, you wouldn't feel so tired. So you wouldn't feel so tired is a result clause or it's a main clause. So pay attention. How do we form the sentence? If is followed you as a subject, and then after you a subject is past tense, simple past. Okay, what's the present of went here? What is the past? What is the present of went? Go. Go, yeah. If you went to bed earlier, you wouldn't feel so tired. You is a subject and would is past future, and then verb 1. Feel is verb 1. If you went to bed earlier, you wouldn't feel so tired. Right, so that is the example number 2. And then example number 3. Now we change the place. Yeah, we change the place now. This number 1 and number 2, the first clause is if clause or the condition, and then followed by the result clause or main clause. Now the next sentence, the next example is I'm putting or I am placing the result clause first and then coming if clause or condition. That's fine, right? I would buy a sport car if I had much money. Is that okay? It's okay. What is the difference here? The difference here is when you put if is in the beginning or if clause in the beginning, you got to put comma there. When you put the result clause, you don't need comma there. Okay, so here is the next example. I would donate my money to charity if I won the singing contest. Okay, I would donate my money to charity. Is it if clause or result clause?
Result clause.
Result clause, that's correct. How do you know it's a result clause?
Because there is past future, sir.
There is a past future there, and then we don't use if, right? Past future would, right? I would donate my money to charity, and then if I won the singing contest. What is the present of won?
Win, sir.
Win, that's correct. Yeah, if I win the singing contest. Okay, so now you understand? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now so what is the fact? The fact, when we are talking about the fact here, if I had much money, I would buy a sport car. What is the fact here? Faktanya apa di sini? The fact is, I have not much money, and I will not buy a sport car. So at the beginning, I told you the use of conditional sentence. Conditional sentence type 2 is to express something unreal in the present, yeah, or the condition is hard or unlikely to happen, or it's difficult to happen, or the possibility is very small to happen, or it cannot happen. It cannot happen. So, or we can say unreal situation in the present. Jadi, apa namanya, kenyataannya itu tidak real pada saat sekarang. So, we use conditional sentence type 2 is to express unreal condition. Unreal condition at the present. Or the action is unlikely to happen in the present. Nggak mungkin terjadi pada saat ini. So we express conditional. We use conditional sentence type 2 is to express something cannot or is not possible to happen in the present. Ya, or unlikely to happen in the present. Itu nggak mungkin terjadi pada saat ini. So the fact, when I say if I had much money, the fact, what is the fact now? What is the fact? Faktanya apa?
Not have such money, sir.
I don't have much money. I have not much money, but I don't have much. I have money, but I don't have much money. So because I don't have much money, I cannot buy a sport car, because to buy a sport car, it costs a lot of money. So the situation is unreal in the present. Okay? Or it's unlikely to happen in the present. Gak mungkin terjadi, or it's not possible to happen at the present. At the present. Jadi kita membicarakan tentang sesuatu yang nggak mungkin terjadi pada saat ini. Ya, for example, Mira. I mention one name, Mira. Mira is a student of this school. She is late every day. Dia tuh terlambat terus hari ini. Why? Because she live far away from here. Dia tinggalnya misalkan di Tanjung Morawa. Dia pulang pergi. Ya, dia pulang pergi Tanjung Morawa. Makanya udah telat dari sini, kan jauh ya. So, I will say in conditional sentence type 2, yeah, if Mira lived near the school, if Mira lived yeah, near the school, he would not be late. Yeah, he would not be late. Is it conditional sentence type 2 or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So I repeat once again. If Mira lived near the school, he would not be late. So what is the fact? Ini kan kita berangan-angan. Seandainya Mira tinggal dekat dengan sekolah, dia nggak akan terlambat. If Mira lived near the school, he would not be late. Nah, itu kan menggunakan conditional sentence type 2. What is the fact? What is the meaning of that conditional sentence type 2? The fact is, ada yang tahu what is the fact here? Faktanya apa di situ?
Rumahnya tidak dekat dari sekolah, sir.
Ya, rumahnya itu jauh dari sekolah. Rumahnya itu tidak dekat dari sekolah. Ya. Jadi mungkin nggak dia apa namanya? Mungkin nggak, is it possible to happen or not? Is it possible to happen?
No.
Rumahnya dekat itu, if Mira live near the school, nah itu mungkin nggak terjadi tuh.
Mungkin, tapi
untuk saat ini mungkin nggak terjadi. Atau
Tidak
mungkin nggak dia on time to school.
no, sir.
Nggak mungkin.
No, sir.
Ya, at this time itu nggak mungkin terjadi. Karena faktanya dia tinggalnya jauh, ya kan? You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so like this one, I would buy a sport car if I had much money. What is the fact?
I not have such much money, sir.
I have not much money. I have not much money. Mungkin nggak saya beli mobil sport. Apakah mungkin saya beli?
No, sir.
No, sir. Enggak ya, karena I don't have much money. Ini cuma berangan-angan ya. If I would buy a sport car if I had much money. So again, the use of conditional sentence type 2 here is to express about unreal situation in the present. Ya, at the moment ya. Menyatakan sesuatu yang tidak mungkin terjadi atau sesuatu yang not possible, nggak unreal ya, sesuatu yang nggak nyata atau nggak mungkin terwujud pada saat ini ya. So for example, I would donate my money to charity if I won the singing contest. Ya, faktanya apa? Faktanya di sini, what is the fact here?
I not won the singing contest, sir.
I do not ya. I do not win ya the singing contest. and I will not donate my money to charity because I don't have much money, and because I do not win. Nah, faktanya what the fact and conditional sentence, where we are talking about conditional sentence type 2, and how is the fact? Faktanya, how do we form the fact? Faktanya itu bagaimana kita membentuk faktanya? Dari apa?
Kebalikannya, sir.
Dari apa?
Dari yang kata if
Ya,
I.
kalau if we are, when we are saying conditional sentence type 2, the conditional sentence is using simple past tense for the condition or for the if clause, and past future or would for the conditional, yes, for the result clause. So what about the fact? Faktanya, kalau membentuk faktanya bagaimana?
Kebalikan dari if clause yang simple
Kita
past
menggunakan tenses apa?
present, sir.
Simple present tense. Okay, that's correct. Ya, simple present tense and simple future tense. Ya, faktanya harus dari situ. Ya, faktanya adalah simple present tense. The conditional sentence is past tense and past future. Do you understand? Can you understand, students? Bisa dipahami?
Yes, sir.
Oh, do you have question? If you have question, feel free to ask. Feel free to ask if you have question. No? Okay, then we go step further. Okay. Okay, well, itu kan ada, that's those sentence that we mentioned before, it has verb, ya, ada verbnya. Now, how about we don't use ordinary verb, but we use nominal. Nominal is not ordinary verb, but we use to be, yeah. So, for example, like this one, if, and then simple past and past future. If, subject, were, and was, and then adjective, and then subject, would be, and adjective. The difference is, what is the difference here? Kalau nominal verb, nominal sentence, apa ini perbedaannya?
Adjective, sir.
Adjective, it's followed by adjective and to be. Okay, please remember, we don't use was. Yeah, for all subject, we don't use was. Only were is applied here. Cuma were yang digunakan di sini, ya. Whatever the subject, the to be is still were, not was. Make a note of that, ya. Catat ya itu, ya. Buat catatan. So we don't use was in conditional sentence type 2 for all subject. The to be used is only were. Okay, here is an example. Yeah. If I were a millionaire, I would be on a holiday in an isolated island. Kalau saya jadi milioner, saya akan pergi liburan di pulau yang terpencil, pulau yang situ tidak ada orang, saya sendiri, so saya beli. So we use were here, we don't use was here. So we don't use ordinary verb, but we use to be here. The to be is were, not was. So same here, if he were rich, not he was rich now. If he were rich, he would be happy. Okay? If he were rich, he would be happy. Okay, here, if you were on time on the meeting, I would be grateful. Okay, or this one, if he were diligent, he would be successful. Okay, guys, what is the fact here? Number one, okay, I'm gonna choose this one. If he were diligent, he would be successful. What is the fact here? Coba aja cari apa namanya, faktanya jadi apa di sini?
If he were not diligent, sir.
No, that is still past tense. Kalau dia dua menjadi fakta, dia menjadi
Not diligent.
He is diligent. If
ya.
he is
Ini kan jika if he were diligent, he would be successful. Faktanya
if he is not diligent.
Nah, faktanya he is lazy, ya. He will not be successful. He is lazy. Nggak pakai if lagi, ya. Kalau fakta nggak usah pakai if lagi. He is lazy and he will not be successful. Oke, kalau di sini faktanya apa? If you were on time to the meeting, I would be grateful. Ini?
You are late.
You are not on time, or you are late to the meeting. Yeah. And I would be grateful, and I am not be grateful. Okay. So ingat faktanya adalah present tense. Ya. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Bisa dipahami? If he were rich, he would be happy. Faktanya?
He doesn't reach.
He is not rich. Ingat ini kan adjektif. Ini to be. Kita nggak boleh pakai kata kerja bantu do di sini. Tapi yes ya. He is not rich and he will not be happy. Understand? Oke, satu lagi, one more time. Siapa di sini faktanya apa?
I am not a millionaire.
I am not millionaire. Okay, so I will not be on holiday in isolated island. Jadi saya liburannya sini-sini aja. Okay. Verbal and non-verbal example. If the weather was not so bad, we would go to the park. I would give everyone chicken if I were the president of Indonesia. If I were a doctor, I would treat you well. If I were you, I would marry her. Okay, so here, ini example of nominal or verbal. Verbal artinya ada verbnya di situ, nominal di situ menggunakan to be. This one, nominal or verbal?
Nominal, sir.
Nominal. This one?
Nominal, sir.
Nominal? Give. Give.
Verbal, sir.
Verbal. Yang ini? This one?
Nominal, sir.
Nominal. This one?
Nominal, sir.
Nominal,
Okay.
sir.
Now can you change this? What is the fact of if I were you, I would marry her? What is the fact? Ini faktanya apa di sini? I am not you, so I will not marry her. Okay, so actually we got something here to answer. State whether it's correct or incorrect. Okay, let's state whether it is correct or incorrect. Coba. Number one, correct or incorrect? Okay, make it quick. Ya. Betul apa salah nih? Salah. Yang betul? What is the correct one? If I inherited $1 billion, I would travel. Nah, harusnya past tense. Karena kan sini ada I would ya. Oke, number two. Correct or wrong? Correct or incorrect? Oke, make it quick. Betul apa salah nih?
Wrong.
Salah, sir.
It's wrong. Mana salahnya?
Will-nya, sir.
Harusnya?
Would.
Would, yeah, I would. Okay, if I own a zoo, I would let people interact with the animal more. Okay, three. Is it good or not? Correct or incorrect? Make it quick, please. Time is up.
Would-nya, sir.
Huh?
Would-nya yang go.
Is it correct or not?
No.
It is correct. Yeah, it's correct. So would it can be replaced by could. Ya, boleh. Will itu pasnya would. Could, can, the past is could. May, the past is might. Ya, boleh. Ya. So this one is the past of can. I could go to the movies if I can. So this is past, and this one is also past. Okay, well, students, I hope you understand. If you have a problem, feel free to ask. Okay, now we are running out of time, and we're going to close our lesson today. Baru setting alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Thank you very much for joining. Feel free to ask if you have problem, or we continue again, or we'll be talking about this again if you haven't understood. Okay, I think that's for today. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.